In today's video, we're going to be talking about one crucial thing that most business owners neglect to do during the initial hiring process. So if you would like to know what that is, please stay tuned to the end of the video, because this tip actually could help you and your company prosper in the eyes of your customers. Now, I would like to discuss the one big crucial thing that most business owners have to do if you want to set your company up for customer success from day one. Now, during the initial process, most companies, what they do is they try to basically feel like a work void, meaning that they see people need employment and then they go out and just hire anybody to fill that position. Well, positions don't necessarily need to be filled just by anybody. See, certain positions at your company, corporation or whatnot, needs to have a certain particular type of mindset, customer service rep, if you want to paint a beautiful picture in the eyes of your customer. Now, let me explain. So, let's just say during the initial hiring process, let's say if the person you are interviewing is a extrovert, okay? Typically, most extrovert people are going to be people. They're going to typically gravitate towards more like conversational type of things. They're going to gravitate more towards like sociable events and just anything that would actually get them in front of other people. So that's like the extroverted kind of personality. So if you have an extrovert person who is applying for your job position and you know that this person is an extrovert, and you can tell because the person to come in just like chitter-chatting, like they would be like friendly with the receptionist at your office, and they would be talking to different people who's also interviewing for the job. So that's going to be a extroverted type of personality right there. Now, each personality has its ups and downs. I would like to get started with the pluses of each personality type. So the extroverted personality type and also the introverted personality type. Now, the extroverted personality type would do really good on the front line, meaning like on the telephone. So let's just say if you have a call center or something like that, or you have a business that people directly come to, like a brick and mortar, so to speak. Now, extrovert people, if you have a call center, they need to be on that front line. So as soon as your customer calls in to your company with a complaint or whatnot, an extroverted person needs to be the first one to answer the phone. You don't need to have an introverted person answering any kind of customer service phone calls, and I'll get to that a little bit later on. Why not? Now, extroverts are really good for frontline on the phone or frontline when you come into your office. Your company. Extroverts need to be the door greeters. Extroverts need to be the ones on the sales floor. Now, another good thing for extroverts during the initial hiring process would be, another good job would be to get them on a chat. Extroverts do really good on chat, like communicating with the customers and stuff like that, like relaying the company values, the company mission, and things of that nature. So you need that kind of particular individual on your team, on the chat team, which is an extrovert who would actually care or really give a damn about what the customer is calling in about. Now, extroverts also make really good managers and supervisors. The reason this is because with an extrovert, you want to put an extrovert in like a managerial or like a supervisor or team lead position. And the reason you would do that is because if they need to discuss something with one of your reps or agent, they need to discuss something, extroverted person would be more inclined to approaching the situation like a disciplinary situation type of thing, the correct way opposed to a introverted type of person. So let's just say if you hire a extrovert to be a manager, supervisor, a team lead or something like that. And then one of the sales reps, let's just say their numbers are down. Now, the extroverted manager will come in and say, oh, hey, Tony, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about your numbers. I just wanted to see if it's anything that you may need help with, anything like that, Tony, because, you know, you're doing really good, man. But I just want to know if you need anything. If you need anything, Tony, my door is open for you. See, that's going to be more of your extroverted type of manager right there, because the extrovert is actually going to care about what their team members are going through in life. You know, extroverts are going to want to really get to the bottom of it and really just know and really help and love and stuff like that. So that's the extroverted personality. Now, let's move over to the introverted personality. Now, if you have an introverted personality, then during the initial hiring process, I recommend to put the introverted person into like a paperwork position. Introverts are really good at like accounting and like organizational skills and stuff like that. So if you have a job where you are needing to fill a position for somebody to be very analytical, to look over things with a very fine-tooth comb. If you need somebody to like double check some work, a introverted person would be the perfect position holder for your company if that is what you need to have done. Something else. Introverted people are really good at like scheduling. They would make like a really good scheduling job or something like that. They would do really good in the fraud department of a job. And the reason is introverted people are going to be more analytical people. Extroverted people aren't really factual, analytical people. That's going to be more of your introverted. Introverts are going to be like more of the, I have to be factual, you know, about everything. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, we need both sides of the track on earth so that way we can, you know, all form together. But introverts do really, really well at like organization and stuff like that. So introverts would be, again, like a really good accounting department or something like that. Something where they're more so behind the desk. And the reason why you want to not put a introvert on the telephone on front line as is you would a extrovert is because the introvert isn't really going to too much care about what's happening with the customer, because introverts are going to be more factual type of people. So if a customer calls in and was like, oh, hey, my product is malfunctioning, more than likely the introverted person is going to just say, oh, what's wrong with it? The customer would say something to the extent of, oh, well, my camera is not working or my watch isn't working or whatever. The introvert would just say, oh, okay, well, have you checked the battery in it? You know, the introvert is still giving interaction to the customer, but not the type of interaction that the customer is looking for. And see, that's the whole thing. When you own a business, you have to make sure that your customer service agents are providing the type of customer service that the customers expect. It doesn't necessarily matter what the company expects or anything like that. It only matters in the eyes of the customer, because they're the ones who are spending, who's spending the money, and they're the ones who's footing the bill. So when you hire in employees, please take note of their personality type. If the person comes in to the initial interview and you see them outside and they're sitting there playing on their phone or whatnot, or they're just sitting there like reading a book, or sitting there just reading a magazine or something like that, just basically being quiet, kind of stoic among themselves, that should let you know that this particular individual is a introverted type of person. So in my opinion, which I've had several jobs where I have been placed into a introverted position when I'm an extrovert, and then I've been put in positions where I have been able to use my extrovert skills, and I, kind of dominated in my industry when I was working the job back in the day that I was working. So you have to make sure that you put the correct employees in the correct position, because if you put the wrong employee in the wrong position, they will paint the wrong picture for your customer. Now, let's go to the downfall of the extrovert. We kind of went over the upside of being a introverted personality. Then we kind of went down to the why you don't want to put a extrovert in this type of position. Now let's slide back over to the counterpart, the extrovert, and let's talk about this particular personality type and why you would not put this particular personality type in a introverted position. Now, if you put a extroverted person in a paperwork person position, work isn't really going to get done too quick. It's not, because you put the extrovert in a introverted position. So the extrovert, instead of sitting there doing the paperwork like they're supposed to really be doing, they're more so going to be sitting there communicating, going to be sitting there talking. So work really might not get done the appropriate way if you put the extrovert in any one of these positions. So you should never put an extrovert in the paperwork position, accounting, scheduling, the fraud department. No. You want, again, this personality type needs to be on the front line, on the phones, on chat, the initial greeter at your brick and mortar. Now, the introverted personality right here needs to be more so behind the scenes of your business. This personality type right here needs to be, again, in the paperwork, accounting, scheduling, the fraud department, because this person here isn't necessarily going to be consumed by talking to their fellow employees as their counterpart, the extrovert. So the introvert is going to be more like focused on the job. So you make sure that you put the introvert in one of these 4 positions whenever you hire the introvert, because putting the incorrect personality type into position cannot be good. Now, most customers don't necessarily care too much about your product. Most customers buy things because of how they're made to feel, either how they're led to feel. Now, I would like for you to turn your attention over here to the pie chart. On this pie chart right here, you see we have the whole circle right here. So the whole circle, this is like the customer's experience in general as a whole with the company. So over here in the green over here that I have squiggly in right here, you have customer happiness, which is 85% of the equation. That's customer happiness, 85%. The red right here that I have squiggly in right here, which is product happiness. Product happiness only takes up 15% of the customer's happiness when it comes to doing business with your company. So if you can remember, during the initial hiring process, just because somebody comes in muscle bound, chest heavy or whatnot, that doesn't necessarily mean to put them on the sales floor because they have sex appeal. Yes, sex sells, it does. But you need to make sure that you put that correct personality type in the correct position if you want your customers to know that your company has their best interests at hand. So a lot of companies only look at things from a revenue model. They don't typically look at things from the customer standpoint. But I would like for you to remember this. At the end of the day, the customer is the ones who are paying your bills. The company only shuffles and distributes the money. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. And until the next video, I'll catch y'all later.